So this is a really good combination. Gragas can isolate, and they can destroy somebody really easily with Sivir and with Lissandra. Still, you have that strong 4-1 split going on with the Rumble. Meanwhile, Lulu mid again. This is basically a shittier version of the comp they ran last game because they don't have Kog'Maw. I don't understand why they would not pick Kog'Maw. They want more lane dominance because here's what they were thinking. So coming into the last game, they're like, oh, shit. We lost the game and we could never get enough farm on Kog'Maw, and Piglet was bullied out early, so we're just going to not run the Kog'Maw. Except that the flaw in the thinking was not, shit, we got bullied out with Kog'Maw. The flaw is we didn't have another threat. And really here, if there were a couple things they could have done, just based on the picks and bans that we have available. Could have run a carry top. Could have run Rumble. Rumble with Kog'Maw and Lulu in mid lane. That's okay. Could have run Lulu top. And then Phoenix could have played... Oh, they banned Corki? Why? Oh. That's unfortunate. They shouldn't have banned Corki. Because C9 wasn't gonna. C9 probably wasn't gonna take away the Lulu, so you could have picked it. You could have picked Corki earlier in the draft, and then use the Corki in the mid lane, like we've seen them do before. They could also run Ezreal. Yeah, that does put you in a situation, the double AD carry, but you can chunk out the back line. I don't know if Phoenix plays mid Ezreal. I mean, but it's not rocket science to play mid Ezreal, really, is it? It's not that hard. So mid Ezreal, mid Corki, LeBlanc. LeBlanc isn't even banned. Play mid LeBlanc with Lulu in the top lane and Kog'Maw. So, Rumble was banned too. That's true. They banned Rumble too. Because of Balls' Rumble is really good. But in any case, there are lots of options still, right? Ezreal, LeBlanc, both fine in the mid lane. But I think Team Liquid, they focused too much on them losing the early game. But in the end, they basically ended up with a shittier version of their composition that they're going to have to snowball more effectively out of the laning phase. But there's also no Morgana here to protect Piglet against this. That's going to be hitting him in the face. And it's really easy for C9 to assess this composition and say, well, just going to kill Piglet. We can all-in Piglet in the back line with Hecarim and Lissandra, and he dies, and then there's no more damage. People are asking about Victor. You can't. Victor's still disabled. Otherwise, Victor is okay too. But I think that TL didn't have the right read on the main reason why they lost that game. Yeah, you can't play Lulu support with Juggernaut because then you don't have enough AP for shields and Whimsy, move speed, and wild growth.
There can be no more than this game. Who will win? Also remember, because of the Maokai pick, this is again Phoenix on the Lulu. This is the only champion that we have seen from Phoenix that has not really shown up. He got beat by High and CS in the mid lane. Different matchup this time around, but not been Phoenix's best champion.
C9 played so well around the Juggernaut in the last game that you really have to believe that C9 has a pretty strong advantage coming in with this composition against a very, very similar composition from Team Liquid. At least they have Sejuani for initiate instead of Nunu this game, so that's a nice change. Oh yeah, Kennen too. They could play Kennen mid lane, that's true. There's a lot of stuff they could have done. I also think Quas is better at Lulu than Phoenix is. Just given, at least at team fighting with Lulu, given that last game, Phoenix didn't make the right choices in terms of who he was using his abilities on.
Usually it's smell, sometimes sound that
time, it's the instance in general.
Oh, right, the level 1 fight. I forgot about that this game.
Previous team that felt the curse.
And with the defensive line setup that you guys have been doing, they don't do a delayed harassment. Don't
Yeah,
beat it late.
good point.
They're actually going to have.
So, in this game, they're making a decision, right? In this 2v2, C9 is an unusual decision that they're going to send just one person to try and disrupt this and see what they can find here. Because the duo is actually in the top side. But this is the danger that when you try and weak side jungle like this is the danger that you open yourself up to. And they already they started with the saplings here, and you can see the 3 CS, so Phoenix just glitter lance through to get that advantage.
Think that this is a regular duo doing the Gromp? And say
So Lemonation's going to find them here as they
who's going in to stop
leash here for
He's not gonna
Meteos.
stop the 2 tanks, but he's getting some
And Sneaky didn't get the Krug experience here. They handed that one over.
damage done.
But
If it costs him anything.
at the same time, they're going to be able to push this wave and get CS quickly thanks to Boomerang Blades.
Something.
So
A potion.
Lem's going to take some damage right here, but he gets a few autos off, and he's super tanky. You know, he's starting with 47 armor and 44 MR.
Either it's Lemon Nation pushing 2 people out or Lemon Nation.
And they were already hurt by the Gromp. So now Balls,
If they collapse on him,
My work is not
he keeps slowing them too with his E.
giving up a lot of pressure.
And then Meteos is just going to walk in.
And there's Meteos.
So they got the flash already out of Quas. And they used the Ignite on Quas as well. So he's not in any situation to do anything. And Meteos hit level 2 off of the Krugs and then immediately walks in. So they're playing very decisively. Alistair's coming down and they have the pressure on the mid wave. And we do see Balls already TP top. So Quas has the option of recalling right here and then TPing in.
Still going back and forth. What a jungle stop here.
no smite.
Still gonna
Smite
be
over that left
aggressive.
kid
So
on
they're
the
still
wall.
playing around this. And they're pretty committed at this point. But notice that Sneaky's about to hit level 2. And this is super important.
Super dominate, so that helps him a little bit. He dives in. Meteos.
So they're trying to back off, and we have what's developing into a 4v3. But Sneaky stayed long enough to hit level 2, so he has 2 forms of AoE.
Right now, you only get 5 hard leash resets on those.
And now that they've walked out, High is free in this mid lane to walk in to this choke point, and he's also level 2. So
So he's not getting.
there's the Boomerang Blade onto Phoenix. Phoenix gets caught out, takes a little bit of damage right there. But Meteos is at level 2, and he's got a lot of AoE. And if we look at the champions that are here, Xpecial already burned his pulve, right?
So that helps him.
Pretty sure he did.
Meteos. What is going on right now?
You only get 5 hard leash resets on
Well,
those
wait.
wolves.
Sneaky's like
That's a major mistake. Xpecial not holding his pulve means that he only hit one person with it, and there wasn't really follow-up damage. He also used his flash in order to get the headbutt. But this guy's so tanky, even at level 1, and there's just not that much damage. Lemon is also able to flash out of it. Then you have 4 people clustered right here. And they already have used 1, 2, 3 flashes compared to just 1 over here. And they're going to stack up in the choke. So here's why it's important. Sneaky has Ricochet now, so he's able to get this. You have the E from Nautilus, and you have 2 forms of AoE from Meteos, because I think he's got the barrel toss and he should have body slam, right? So they get, there's the body slam right there from Meteos, and it's going to hit multiple people. Meanwhile, here's another Boomerang Blade going through 3 of them. Oh no, it wasn't. It wasn't a Boomerang Blade. It'll be up in just a second though. And then the Q is also going to be able to shred through them. There's the other Boomerang Blade, throwing it right through there, and they have no more flash. So just a huge summoner advantage for C9 and an AoE advantage going into that fight, combined with Team Liquid using their AoE on single targets.
5, facing the reverse sweep. Wow.
Not how you want to start.
What a demoralizing opening for Team Liquid.
the TL, they didn't realize that they had the worst level 1 right there, especially because of Sneaky going down and hitting that level 2. So C9 had a level edge, and they burned the summoners super early on. And then this resulted too. Quas is still only level 1. Balls is starting to get a bunch of experience.
You even had Smite.
He'll go away with an 1,800 gold lead for his team 3.5 minutes in and still be pretty happy about it. Go for more.
Just kidding. That was fun.
Jeez. So basically Team Liquid didn't want to collapse back in for a while.
Yeah, too many summoners burned, and Meteos there too, with 2 forms of AoE. That pull is...
Balls is still level 1.
Using that flash right there just isn't worth it, because Lemonation just flashes right back out. And then they all eat a body slam and an explosive cask.
What a body slam from Meteos. That opened the door for Lemonation to get out.
Such a good boomerang blade too.
This body slam that he gets at the end with the flash. Total game
Dirty.
changer. Allows High to land his AoE at the very end of that. It looked for a second like Team Liquid was going to get away with 3 people all staying alive until Meteos made that.
Until the Meteos Nation flash body slammed. Body slam flashed. Excuse me.
I mean, what
It's way better to do body slam flash.
Special's trying to do it. He's saying, well, you can do it. I'm going to try to do it better now. Puts himself in the jungle dangerously.
Yeah, I can take jungle camp too.
It looks like Meteos gives him a bit of room, but he knows his blue is not going anywhere. He's just taking a small camp, trying to deny a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good point. The mentality of Cloud9 after that.
So now you have kills in mid and on AD.
3 kills, they're like, we're not taking any
And
risks.
Balls is also up in CS, although he didn't actually get too much ahead in experience in the end. And they're going to try and swap out right now into the 1v1 after bouncing this, but still Maokai may have some troubles. At least he has boots though.
Play super cautiously like that. Team Liquid, they're not going to let this one go away just because of a level 1 play. This is not a scrim where you restart after an early level 1 invade goes awry. This is game 5 playoffs.
But it would be. It's actually the perfect example.
So they're going to try and dive Balls as a reaction actually, but there's already pings going down. So Balls just going to recall.
You mount a comeback. You chase
And now they're going to try and push this turret. So they say, okay, we're going to get something out of this at the very least.
And you play off the only advantage you have left.
But look at this freeze that's happening down here. Dragon's totally open to be taken at the same time. So this is an appropriate reaction from C9. Go ahead, take the dragon. Super easy, 4 people top. And they couldn't get it on that wave, which is also huge. Because now Balls is able just to recall, buy, and then get right back into lane.
this entire time. He's not shoving the wave, he's just pruning it, last hitting, keeping it right in front of his turret. So yes, the early
So turret finally goes down,
spike back up a little
and
bit
they
there.
shove the wave.
Do the turret, but dragon buff taken.
But they don't commit
Bottom still
to actually pushing this wave right here. Look at what Balls is doing.
Do off of this. Obviously, hearing the dragon went over to Cloud9. They're still going to
Balls is able, even though Xpecial tries to prevent him from freezing this minion wave right here, he still pulls it out for the most part. Lost the cannon, but uh-oh. They backed off and started swapping before they bounced the wave properly. So now Balls is going to have an even bigger advantage in terms of CS. And there's nothing really they can do about it. And this is a mistake because there were only 2 people down here, right? And they knew that the wave was freezing and that it was going to take time to push this all the way forward, and even more time because, look, all Sneaky has is a Doran's Blade right now. They weren't going to be able to push this turret in the time that would have taken them to properly break this freeze. Maybe a little bit more turret damage, but they're not going to take it. But they got antsy that the fast push was going to come in, and so the Team Liquid misplayed the wave, and now Balls gets a huge advantage.
Gets the free farm at his second turret now too. And Team Liquid are going to have a hard time spending any extra cash to get vision deep in that jungle.
Look at Balls,
to try and
what a
punish
jerk.
this either. They are really hurting for money right now. So
Notice they also have a pink ward here. Meteos is on the top side. Maokai can't do anything.
vision down here and punish the Hecarim at his secondary turret. Very difficult for them. You saw the pink ward already from Cloud9, but sneaky little ward here on the
So that's actually really important. There wasn't any threat to their bottom tier 1. It's a pretty big misplay. It would have taken them about another 10-15 seconds to reverse that wave. And now it's 42-13 CS.
Not any kills right now. Right now, those kills are prioritized on the perfect people. Meteos, High, and Sneaky all with one. Trying to be aggressive here as they got early in the game. Pick those up. So far, Team Liquid has played safe, knowing that they are so far behind. It could be very easy for Cloud9 to keep rolling these kills together and take an even bigger lead. They are very, very good at making small things work.
So Team Liquid makes a lot of mistakes in the early game. And there isn't a noticeable advantage for Piglet either, besides a little bit more global gold from killing that tower. And look at what Meteos is doing. He's already up here playing aggressively while this wave creeps forward.
Absolutely, as time to shine. It's Team Liquid's time to prove everyone wrong. But we've heard in the past, even the analyst desk was talking about it. When Piglet starts going on tilt, he admits he is prone to doing that. Losing one game, he thinks the first game of the series. Whoever wins that, they'll be able to take it. Because if he wins the first game, he usually gets so confident is able to.
I don't understand why Piglet is like. The caster's just saying Piglet says this. I mean, Piglet may say this, but how many times did SK Telecom lose the first 1 or 2 games of the series? They were famous for losing game 1 and game 2 and then coming back. So even though he may think that about himself, history says he's perfectly capable of winning series at coming back from a deficit. They did that so many times in best of 5s. So I don't know why Piglet is saying that. Weird. Because I don't think that's true about him at all from observing his play for many years now.
Sneaky 76-70. Doing a great job of staying under that turret. Also, we have to remember he was left alone in that whole top foray, or jungle foray at the bottom. Farm top.
Yeah. Speaking of farm and top, 2-level advantage for balls. Level 8 Hecarim versus level 6 Maokai. That is very, very difficult to say the least for Quas, who has been such a huge boon for Team Liquid in the series. This time, it's balls with the upper hand, and he is using that upper hand.
Loss is a huge risk of dying at some point in this lane. Not only the level advantage, the fact that Balls has Ignite on Hecarim, for one, just the nature of the champion in the top lane, and the fact that Balls has the war control, but Quas does not. Well, pretty much all Meteos has to do is walk up there and he'll at least burn flat.
Yep.
Coming up right now, they've got the path laid out with Vision as well. Deep ward's already set up for him.
He's freezing running here.
Another interesting thing with Quas is he'll have those games where he just goes off with the Fizz or something in the top lane. Last game, Lulu.
Yeah, Meteos is doing such a good job of jungling around this too, just constantly babysitting the top side, trying to get deep wards in. Oh. Oh! Wow, he still got it.
He does. That's just bombing.
Clean steal, Jack. Clean steal.
Said to sneeze on it one last time. Oh, bottom lane Sneaky. That's the Ignite down on him. A great teleport from Quas' spell shield. Wait, okay, he did down the arcade smash. Touchdown. Sapling picks up that kill, and it is going to be the 3v2 now. Very low health bars, and Ball's going a little too hard on this one. Lemon Nation doesn't even want to get too close. Onslaught of Shadows for defense, and the Anger Toss to the turret as well.
Quas has no boots or damage yet, really. He's fighting a BF sword with a health crystal and a long sword. And they're the same Piglet's the same level as Balls too. Yeah, that was not gonna work. It was a good TP though, because they knew that Meteos was in topside scrapping here, and Quas is sitting inside of his fountain waiting for this play to set up, and they didn't clear out this vision behind them, so it's a good engage. You can see X special used his flash. He flash pulled and then immediately ignited. This is a good setup from TL.
Oh, bottom lane Sneaky. That's the Ignite down on him. A great teleport from Quas' spell shield. Wait, okay, he did down the arcade smash. Touchdown. Sapling picks up that kill, and it is going to be the
But there's no point in doing this because Quas going down to the bottom side, you're like, okay, well, you just committed down to the bottom side. Now I have TP advantage. And look at this. You could just put pressure onto the turret right now. There's no threat of Dragon for another minute and a half. You're not going to make a kill. But what you can do is deny Maokai even more farm in the top side by making sure he gets none of this and maybe get some turret damage as well. And reverse the wave so you can just keep on freezing and getting more and more of a CS advantage.
Pressured in the top lane, getting beat up, equalizes everything with a teleport, able to secure a kill for himself, and Balls tries to answer so they don't even have to work with that teleport disadvantage.
40 CS down, top lane. Very big to be able to make that play.
And with the wave pushing against him, the thing that Balls was freezing up there is he's not able to prune that CS properly. It will still be a giant wave that Balls gets to clean up.
I think he might be able to catch it. I think he'll probably be able to catch it before it hits turret.
That's actually going to be really huge.
Yeah, he goes back and buys Merc Treads immediately to get up there faster.
See this one more time. Teleports definitely in favor. Quas was in base as he had all the time to look at the fight.
X Special, knowing he needed to make a play, preemptively flashes there. I can't believe Sneaky.
It's also a really late teleport. The other thing is that the teleport was just straight up late from Balls too if he's going to make that play.
Yeah, and then we know the finish of that.
But he gets 1 billion CS out of it.
And basically X Special with the crowd control, doing it just right.
Remain calm, guys.
No, so he's going to push this one up actually.
That happened from the early game. He can just funnel everything onto Piglet and Phoenix and hope those guys with the Lucian Lulu synergy can take it.
But look at the setup again.
They're hoping that I think they will.
And they might just get Lemon Nation.
They're up in the top side, just trying to deny this even further. And punishing Maokai. So they don't even really care about the dragon right now. They're clearly showing up in the top side. Their entire focus is on denying more CS.
Gaining a little bit more ground. Despite that pressure early from Cloud9.
Balls needs to run. Very good. They will trade turrets. But if Team Liquid ends up picking up a dragon after this turret trade, they're pretty much back in the game.
It was a really strong move there for Team Liquid. Even after the fiasco that happened early, able to keep their heads in the game, time the dragon, make their play bottom at the same time. So trade turrets, nobody goes down, but coming out with the added benefits.
So you do get the dragon off of that. Cloud9 has made a different decision, which is screw Quas. Which is a better decision, actually, because a useless Maokai compared to an unstoppable split-pushing Hecarim is something they're simply not going to be able to deal with in the late game.
Taking that turret in the top lane.
No.
Oh, wait a minute. They decide to go off the turret, and the objective is now Quas. Cut down the tree,
Good move.
get a little bit more gold, and it looks like they will do
And
so.
they give it to Hecarim too, and they take the turret.
So they're just making the best of the situation.
Curious Quas. So hard to respect the initiation potential of a Gragas, though. Body slam flash.
The huge CS difference already.
Distance to knock him back with the ultimate. Quas would have had to be at his second turret if he wanted to avoid.
Could have pushed this wave into tower.
Farther back, and he pays the price.
Yeah, sorry, jinxed it.
There's no TP for them to turn that play around.
Heads mid.
Frozen
Flash ult.
tomb from high. Nobody
Whoops.
was really around him to keep that initiation
Okay,
going.
that was silly.
Pays the price.
Yeah, sorry, jinxed it. Dominate though, looking to make a move of his own. Heads mid.
Frozen
Flash ult.
tomb from
I mean,
high.
your jungler and your top lane just backed.
Lane pressure.
I don't. There's not really a chance you're gonna win that all in.
Reliable.
He has wild growth.
Cutting the animation, takes down high. Cloud9 though, gonna defend the turret.
That was rather pointless aggression.
Weren't really sure if they were going to get that engagement, but it played out.
And
easy for them.
instead, well, the wave is gonna push back out. Looks like towards C9 slowly.
The wave pushes after these kills that Team Liquid's able to get.
Where is Maokai
Bottom
going?
turret now, and top turret for them as they're looking to crack the egg open in the middle here.
Piglet gets all the farm.
27 to 44.
Wow, look at this.
Turret played out
Team Liquid, please.
Cloud9 though,
Piglet comes in, gets an assist. This is moving towards him. They have this frozen wave that Maokai can just... well, it's not frozen, but he can slow push this out.
working these though.
And instead, Maokai goes into bottom lane
Pushes after these
to lose a bunch more CS onto the turrets. Team Liquid lost so much CS onto turrets in the latter 3 games here.
127.
And instead, apparently, Lucian needs farm. As soon as he's done dealing with Krugs.
Mid lane, though.
Troubling, but then you look at the mid lane of the AD carry, and they are in the favor of Team Liquid. And Maokai, while he does need to be a tank line, is not completely core to this Team Liquid team composition. We talk about what types of priorities Team Liquid runs. They had that one game where Phoenix and Quas were the priority, but when they are successful, it is a Piglet priority team comp for the most part. Here, they do have a large tank line, a lot of crowd control. Maokai can add to that crowd control, and as long as Piglet continues to have a good game, Team Liquid is still good.
And they didn't even push this out that far.
They do have a large tank line, a lot of
He just goes back. They had a ward here, and there's no wards for Piglet, so he's super scared to walk up. So now it's just even more farm for Hecarim.
Right now, the top lane is once again pushing towards Cloud9, and Ball is headed up that way. So this is going to be an interesting choice. Does he continue to freeze it and deny CS? I feel like he should, and have the rest of Cloud9 just ward defensively.
Yeah, because C9 can ward defensively right now. They can, like Kobe's saying, they can just play back, and they have sufficient wave clear. So there's no real threat to their turrets, at least in mid and bot. So just go ahead and freeze as long as you can.
CS up on his opponent, 200 to 100. This game has a chance of being even more lopsided than that.
Somewhere else on the map.
This is ridiculous. They can't actually apply pressure anywhere. And they can't dive either because of the Gragas and the Lissandra ultimates.
Cloud9, they have made the call. They're just soaking up 3 lanes versus 2 lanes.
Cloud9's patience here is really good.
Liquid are just having to deal with it. They're having to bite the bullet.
It is really hurting them.
All doing everything to farm that out. Looking back, what could Team Liquid actually?
But TL is just not doing anything to help themselves out either. They're not. They screwed this game up by not bouncing that
A
wave,
lot of this has to do with the level.
and then
It goes that far
they
because he's so much weaker than Ball. He can never
they didn't ward up here, so they couldn't actually farm this, and they gave that farm over to Lucian instead.
should be giving this farm to
Meanwhile, they just left Quas to hang around at tier 1.
this game. At least allow Piglet to be a factor, and that looks like what they're doing.
Oh, this is so dirty.
And for sure, he's definitely not going to go Route of Ages down.
Right.
And also C9 has just been making sure they have presence on this side of the map all the time.
By the time the game's over.
And Meteos has played out the pressure really well too.
If Team Liquid does not
Garbage.
get a turn off of this,
There's gold in them minions, chat.
One man's trash and another man's treasure, guys. We'll see. Able to clear this out. Blue buff for them in the mid lane, but like you were saying, they are giving all that to Quas, trying to make him bigger. Priority into that. Well, looks like Piglet's going to be clearing up.
But they're only farming 2 lanes right now is the problem. C9's farming 3 lanes to 2 lanes.
Divvying things up.
go for the lane rush.
Little
Pushing forward.
excursion into the Cloud9 red side jungle, huh? Dragon is coming up in a minute, but
You know what I would love in League of Legends? Is like if there was up here like a team GPM counter that would show you the GPM of each team in the last minute.
If they find a way
That would be very interesting to track what's going on right now.
It's a 2,000 gold lead between top laners. Hecarim over Maokai. You find a 4v4 or a 5v4 and Team Liquid would have an edge. That being said, Cloud9 has teleport.
yeah. Funny thing
and
about
still
top
no home,
laners.
Still no home guard.
Yeah, I was going to say. Still forgoing the boots. Home guarded champ. Maybe knowing it's not initiation time for them, getting everything they want here with a small 3,000 gold lead, but we know when Cloud9 has that.
Yes, I know we need graphs like in Dota.
Just one more
Makes me so sad that we don't have those.
grab that out. Breathing room
The
for
client
bottom
is
turret.
crap.
Culling being used out as High pushes the mid lane as well with the help of elimination. 80 carries are left to duke it out here in the bottom. CS has been quite close.
So tricky right now. If Cloud9 wins a team fight, it comes as close as they can get to clinching the series. Whereas if Team Liquid wins a team fight, it makes them back in the game. This time
Oh,
Hecarim
they
is
funneled
here.
into the corridor.
They're in the corridor, but they're going through it.
Missed the hook, but they still want to fight. High gets popped up. He can't really do much just yet in the fight.
Oh god,
He's still
Hecarim.
getting knocked around. Only throwing Q's in. It doesn't matter.
Boz is just standing in the middle slamming Q.
Dropping Dominate, Quas, and Phoenix. There's really no assist to come now for X Special.
Cool, triple kill on a Hecarim. That's the worst possible thing that could happen.
They're going through it. It comes as close as they can get to clinching the series.
So Dragon is live.
Team
But I mean, this is the choke of death that happened down here too. Everybody's just going to lose games this series by going through the choke. And Hai has a very good angle right here. They have absolutely everything they need in order to make this work. And wow, that's saving the ult, so it's actually going to go through. It went through people, knocked him up just to get over to Phoenix. Who does Hai use his ult on? Oh, he finally hits it onto Phoenix there. That was a good hold from Hai, just because they had that advantage, and the Hecarim is doing way too much damage with the amount of gold that he has right now. There's really nothing they can do. Quas has no items. Didn't even have Righteous Glory yet. I think you have to give that one up. Yeah, Piglet also just not even there. This is a lot. This is... Piglet sometimes doesn't group with the team very well. He did this against CLG, but, you know, TL won that fight with their Juggernaut anyway because they were so far ahead. But it was mostly because CLG's team comp was terrible against Juggernaut. But TL needs to set up his 5v4. Pretty easy fight, especially with the advantage they have on the Hecarim. Hecarim already had Trinity Force and Shroud. There's nothing you can do. This game's just over at this point. Especially with that Sivir, really good. Knocking everybody around with his ultimate. Tons of rampage damage. And he's healing constantly too, because there's so much AoE going on in that choke right now that his W is just healing him like crazy. So he comes out taking 0 damage pretty much.
I held his ultimate so long in that fight to make sure it got the right person. You know, when you have enough time to just hold your ults while you're surrounded by the enemy, things are going real well. Cloud9's got to be feeling very confident right now. 22 minutes in, things have been going well. First minute of this game 5.
With a lead like that,
pass indeed. Oh, Frozen tomb for himself. That's the tomb he
Oh god, the Hecarim.
Got that kill for himself. Quas with the teleport in. It's not going to work like it did the first time.
but neither is Piglet. So
Boom! Dominate Arctic Assault into the two big
Nobody was there to follow up. So Hai just gets picked off. How do you get picked off?
Well, first minute of this game 5.
with a lead like that, all you have to do is wait.
Oh, okay. So, 2 of them walk this way, Hai walks this way, in spite of the fact that he knows there are 3 people in mid lane, and he just gets Arctic assaulted and knocked up. Really easy kill. Hai not paying attention to where his teammates are going to be on the map in that time. And now TL has TP advantage as well, so they get a really nice pick there due to a relative lack of coordination. I mean, they're still behind 6k gold, so... Oh, okay, 22 minutes, 195 to 76 CS. It's a huge problem for TL that they screwed up this lane swap this badly. After that disastrous level 1, too.
Extra item and a half.
125 CS lead.
It wasn't Quas's fault that this happened to him. It was the push's fault in topside. He had nothing to do with it. Well, he was there to help push the turret, but it was a shot calling problem with the team that screwed him.
We have the chance. Fast on videos. That's the way they're kind of using this with balls able to finish his items faster. Not into that.
Ghostblade finished before IE. Not sure about that from Piglet.
Working out for him right now. 85, 23. Dragon's not yet on the board, but I'm sure it's going to gain one of our next fights.
You just can't kill the Hecarim. Hecarim with the frozen heart now.
You don't have the ability to anytime soon either.
You get a perfect pick, pretty much.
No, yeah, exactly. And the pick has to come from just poor judgment from Cloud9.
Yeah,
It has to be a mistake because Team Liquid's team, they were not building this team trying to come up with picks. They're building this team for team fighting when they all group up and they buff up Piglet, and they've got this crazy front line, and they can set up their battle lines, everybody's in their place, and they can have a standard fight. This is not a team that's built to come from behind or to pick people off or to split push.
With setting up some wards to make sure they see every portion of the map of Cloud9 can enter their jungle. Right now they know about this as well. over to high. This is going to be themselves the opening to make those picks here as they get some clears down. Now,
Goodbye, Klaus.
what they could get if high has enough damage to cancel it out along with balls. They do, and it goes over to high.
There's just nothing you can do. They can dive him all day. He's so weak. He has no resist. He has no armor against this Hecarim.
Closer and closer to getting their 4th consecutive appearance in an series. Especially at the start of this game, picking up 3.
Game. When you're losing that game, you need to win. Any play that goes bad fits your mentality so hard. You didn't want that to happen. You want to change that fight immediately. You're always pondering about the last thing. Team Liquid is working through all of that right now. Silent comms, the scariest things. Hopefully they are still keeping
Baron control.
Yeah.
So right now, Team Liquid has to check. Oh, he is caught out.
The crush in. What can Meteos do across the wall? He's got Piglet on the back line. Phoenix already flashed out and defensively used wild growth on himself. And Ball's now in the middle, just spinning around like a helicopter. Quas taking a bunch of damage. Special is now soloed out there. And Cloud9 has the chance to look left and right in this fight and decide who to block.
This is nothing you can do anymore. Oh, nice smite.
He's alive. He is. Oh, he missed the wall, though. But that gives Phoenix a little bit more time outside the base, which is going to give Cloud9 more time to fight in it.
A tale of 2 carries, though, in that fight.
At this point, though, the Gragas...
Yeah, it's just all over Piglet.
Burn is going to be enough to take down 80 carry.
Yeah, he just kills him.
Blam!
Again, the body slam, flash, take down 80 carry.
Yeah, he just kills him.
Blam!
See, that's the thing that's so good about one of the many things that's so good about tank jungle Gragas right now. Because notice that Meteos uses his W right there, because the first auto does percent HP damage within 5 seconds after using the Drunken Rage. So he just sits there, and Piglet should know this is coming. He doesn't have flash, he doesn't have heal, and so he should know he's within death range, but he's trying to get away, that's fair. That's a really nasty combo. It's very high damage, even if you build full tank.
And you all know the end of this tale. Wait a second, he's got Trailblazer. We have a lot of good action sounds this series.
What happens when you get 3 casters?
Spicing things
More
up.
action sounds. I also have to just say,
Yeah.
this Cloud9 team with Sneaky has revolved around him so heavily, but this game is going more around the top lane and the action that Lemon Nation was able to create early on in the match. Again, with the Blade of the Moon King, and now the Sivir ult. The options for Team Liquid are just shrinking ever more.
That pickup on Hecarim for balls has been so good, knowing he would get the Rumble ban over and over, and almost objective-esque. When Hecarim comes flying through, Pix got hit by that
This
anchor.
is
Phoenix getting
just
out the wall,
disgustingly
goes down, and
one-sided
they're gonna
now.
try to keep this fight going.
Okay, balls.
Backline so tanky, a 3v1. He can still take down Piglet, and he takes
Balls
him
just doing flame things in the back line.
helping to get that one with Sneaky. Balls gets out alive somehow in this fight with the Spirit of the Dread heal and the potion that he popped.
Great shot calling, too, immediately onto the Baron with 3.
Not 3 people, but 4 people are required to take down the Hecarim.
Holy moly.
And you never know, the more gold he gets, the more people it takes to take him down.
Special is forced to watch. The timer is given to them, but is that even enough? It's so far in the favor of Cloud9 right now. A 13,000 gold lead and just about a 130 CS lead now. Quas, or rather balls on that Hecarim over.
Let's watch the fight again.
Righteous glory from Meteos. He goes flying in at the start. They actually locked down a tank.
Oh, jeez, balls.
What better peel can you have? Alistar and Maokai.
He missed autos right there, but...
Oh, man.
So a little bit of a mechanical mistake from Piglet, but he was still dead. Although balls would have died if he had hit those autos. But even so, he's just terrified of the Hecarim right now, and it's not like those autos were going to change the outcome of this game.
So this is now going to be tough for Team Liquid here. Very much so against the ropes and some final breaths to be taken. Cloud9 really, I mean, they'd have to make multiple mistakes in a row for the amount of lead they've given themselves here in this game. And it's crazy to see that they went from such falter in the first game and back and forth to Sneaky diving into a dragon fight alone. We were like, what's going on? And they've corrected pretty much everything in those games.
Cooler heads prevail sometimes. Cloud9, veterans in the LCS, the same roster 2 years running.
Yeah.
They're
One of the few.
Four split with exactly the same starting 5 in every single LCS game.
Team Liquid have to not let
Okay,
this
well, that's it. This game is just... There's nothing else that's going to happen here besides the disgusting, violent murder of Team Liquid.
Travis Heckermalt, they might decide to do a dive with the second cannon minion soon to be arriving, as well as the turret to go down to a couple of shots from Sneaky. This may be Team Liquid's last stand.
There it is, Jat. You called it. Righteous Glory goes down. Heckermall has not been used at. However, as he flies to the back line, Piglet, 75% damage immediately, but they got to watch out for the Nexus turrets, destroying those resistances. Medios is now under it, but they're able to clean house, and it looks like they are going to be able to take Game 5. The reverse sweep for 9.
07 Heckram.
The reverse all kill.
Cloud
So sad for Team Liquid.
back with 3 straight wins. The champion select of Game 3 being a huge boon for them and playing on the mentality of Team Liquid. Cloud
Look how happy they are. I'm happy Medios has blonde hair again. It was a dark time for a while, but he can go Super Saiyan once more. What can Lulu do in this comp? Nothing. It's a bad comp from TL.